And I want to talk to y'all a little bit about studying. It's one of those things that nobody ever really teaches you how to study. Most people can make it through high school and even get A's and B's without ever really knowing how to study. But the type of studying that it takes to get A's and B's in high school is completely different than the kind of studying that you need to get A's and B's in college. And one of the big reasons why is because in high school, teachers are requiring you to simply memorize and spit back information. So if you're pretty good at memorizing, you're gonna be pretty good at taking tests. In college, they want you to explain why. They want you to apply your thinking. They're not just looking at that first level of rote memorization. And so I wanna talk to you and give you a few quick tips about how you can be a better studier. The first step, you must know you. Know thyself. You have to know what your learning style is. If you know your learning style, then you're gonna understand better how to study. Some of us are a little bit more hands-on. Some of us are a little bit more visual. Some of us like to listen. You wanna learn how you learn so that you can learn how you study. Step 2, you wanna understand the test. Understand the style of your teacher and how they like to test. Is it mainly multiple choice? Is it true and false? What type of questions are they going to ask? As best you can, you want to understand the format of the test so you can recreate that as you study. Step 3 is know your resources. It doesn't make sense for you to read the entire chapter, try to memorize a bunch, if all of that is not gonna be on the test. So as much as you can, you wanna find out from your professor what's actually gonna be on the test. Is it the first half of chapter 3? What are the important terms and concepts that are gonna be on the test? Know what resources you have to study. Does the book have questions? Does your textbook have activities, have things that can test your knowledge? Go to your professor, right? The worst that they could tell you is no or not give you information about the exam or the test. Find out from them what is actually going to be covered, what's going to be emphasized more so that you can create and craft your study session to focus on what's actually going to be on the test and not what you think is going to be on the test. You have to be able to recreate the test-taking environment. You won't believe how many students I've seen been able to get A's and B's on homework, and then when it comes to the test, they draw a blank. Have you ever seen or felt that before? If so, it means you really don't know what you're doing. You have an okay grasp of it, but sometimes a test-taking environment can give you anxiety, and it might be because you actually don't know the information as well as you think you know it. Want to make sure you do is that you mimic the test-taking environment. Is it a timed test? Test yourself in short increments at home so you can mimic that test taking. Do you get a little bit of a cheat sheet? Do you get a guide? Do you get formulas? If it's math, if it's English, are you expected to write a composition at random? Test yourself, give yourself more reps that mimic the actual test taking environment, even if it's in short 5 to 10 minute bursts. If you do that often enough, you'll be fine. You'll be much more comfortable in that test taking environment. All right, last thing, I want you to make sure you push yourself to do this. A lot of us, when we study, we rely on just committing the information to memory, but that's not the only thing you need to do. You really need to test your level of understanding. Of course, you want to focus on memorization. There are some things you're just going to have to commit to memory, and that's okay. But if you want to go that extra level, could you explain the topic or teach the skill to somebody else that has no idea what they're doing? If you can teach it to them and they can get it and understand it, that's one level of knowing, okay, you got this. If you can apply what you know in new and different situations, that is also another test to say, okay, you have a pretty firm grasp because you understand how the concept applies in a number of different areas and contexts. So I need you to test yourself and really, really see if you know this information. If you're struggling with studying, hit me up. Shoot me a DM, I got you.